Okay, for this video I'm going to talk a little bit about ItopiaSoftware, and in particular focus on myself and give you an idea of who I am, what my career has been to this point, and some of my successes. Okay, first I'm going to go to the About Us page, and I'm going to be navigating several pages on the site, and so feel free to pause the video at any time and read what's there. I attended the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I did a double major in mechanical engineering and computer science. Thoroughly enjoyed that experience. About the first 10 years of my career, I was focused on mechanical design and software coding together, and was fortunate enough to manage more than one team of very successful products that were launched for more than one company. In the late 90s, the internet, as we know, took off, and so I moved away from the mechanical design and focused more on the software side. I have a very creative bent to me. When I was at the UW, the courses I enjoyed the most and thrived in and did the best in were courses that were very theoretical, very algorithm based, and those types of things apply very well when you're developing code, because if you're creative, what happens is that when a client comes and says, hey, we really want this done, can you do it? And then I'll sit down and think for a while and decide, well, is there technology that's good and reliable to support what they want, number one? And then number two, if that technology is there and it's very reliable and stable, can I write an algorithm or algorithms to solve what their needs are? And so that combination works very well for me, and that's essentially how I do all my development for all my clients, and anything that I produce for ItopiaSoftware is on that same basis. Now, when you look at my range of skills, I had the nice opportunity of managing a .com, and in the process I had to manage several facets of what it takes to operate a .com, including I had to learn how to manage Exchange Server, SQL Server, Advanced Server, IIS, and then actually build a lot of the platforms as well. And so that helped me out on the software side significantly, because of the fact that I was actually managing those as well as managing the software development. I knew instantly how coding practice could impact resources positively and negatively, and so that's always been a big primary focus of mine during development of any application. Now, if I hadn't been lucky enough to have had that opportunity, I couldn't claim that. So after that work experience, I taught for 3.5 years in a local school. I developed curriculum in advanced.NET for them, and I've always been a big proponent of people that not having them talk about what they think they can do or what they think is important, but actually show what they can do. I believe that the proof is in the pudding. Let me see what you can do. Don't tell me. So when I was developing curriculum for them and Microsoft.NET was introduced after I'd already been hired, I decided what better way to learn about the technology than to create an online education system utilizing it. And I knew quite well that normally, before .NET, you could never have done it, or it would have required an entire team of 3 to 4 developers and admins just to make it happen. So I thought, well, geez, I wonder if .NET, if it's as powerful as they say, and the development system as good as they say, maybe I can just do it myself. So that application actually launched my company, ItopiaSoftware. I use that online education system every single day for approximately 2 years while teaching. My students loved it, and I learned a great deal along the way in its development. And in general, when I began my company, my first contracts were pretty simple ones. They were actually doing professional training, and because I wrote It's My School, that application on my own time, it's completely 100% mine. I wrote it 100% myself. And so I was free to take that and do what I wanted with it. And so my first opportunities for my company was actual professional training, and I taught courses from it and utilizing it. Now I'm going to just go and navigate to a couple of different links here. You can pause the video and take a look, but is a very advanced solution. And one of the things about this component, it's one that not that it's a big deal, but it's an Ajax-based component, and I'm very big on Ajax, as you'll see. So here are some of the different features that were there, and again, feel free to pause the video at any time and read what's there. Those are all the features that I used every day, as well as my students. So it had a very big assignment piece, very large grading piece that was valuable for myself as an instructor, but also made it much easier on my students as well, because they could get information at any time that they wanted. They had a complete communication capability, which meant that instead of having to sort through boatloads of email unrelated to school and school, I could do all my communicating right on the course site. I had a very powerful search feature, a very nice course content management piece, and a very nice section for maintenance of the course itself. Now the markets, the interesting thing about It's My School is that shortly after starting my company, I was planning on, there's actually a company I was going to do some work on, but a company called Blackboard won a patent that was later thrown out, but unfortunately froze my application for years and actually threw the entire education marketplace in turmoil. But they won a patent for the idea of online education itself, which on that alone, that's antitrust. But on the other aspect, it turned out that almost every item in their patent was thrown out because they were taking several technologies and putting it together and then claiming it was their idea. And so at any rate, but it froze me out, and actually a lot of companies went belly up because while the legal battles incurred, a lot of them just said, well, we're just going to sell out or quit. So at any rate, I will just snap on these, and you can see some of the different applications. Now that the lawsuits have been settled, I could actually do something with it, but we'll just see. All right, it served a very valuable purpose for me in that it started my company, and that's something I'm very happy about. Okay, so there's about the students and for the faculty. So again, feel free to pause the video. This is all available online as well, so you can just pop through the links wherever you see a hyperlink. You can click on that and get more information. And I also have another video that describes It's My School in detail, so please take a look at that when you have some time. Okay, the next thing that I want to look at is the customers and what I've done for my customers. My mechanical engineering background, as well as both the management and design for almost 10 years in that area, has benefited me very, very positively on the software end. As a student and then later as an engineer, one of the key concepts that we were taught and then practiced was that the idea of Murphy's Law. And Murphy's Law basically says what can go wrong will go wrong, so you better be prepared. And so that's one main philosophy that I've always adhered to, is that when you're developing code, make sure that you're dealing in a technology that is solid and proven, because if you don't, Murphy's Law will bite you. And so for myself, I have followed a very standard practice on when I think a technology has come to fruition and is ready for development in the marketplace. And I'm not going to cover the details on it here other than telling you that. The next thing is that the mechanical design, you are required to, at least for project managers, of which I was one for a number of years, and did that in software as well for years, but is that you have to have a project plan that covers all the details, everything. And if you do that and you follow your project plan, which in the software world is a work breakdown structure, but if you follow that in detail, your chances of success goes way up. And you need to have a very good methodology. And Microsoft has something called Microsoft Solution Framework for agile development. And when they came out with it, I was excited because I said, wow, software, this is great. I can use this for software development. So I've been using that for years, highly successful with that. We all know that a lot of projects, software projects, have failed. And I believe that a big part of it is because they don't understand Murphy's Law and they don't build a very good, solid WBS. If they adhere to those things, I believe that projects would have far more success. The other thing is that I think when you look at a company, you need to look at what they've done. And I remember as a mechanical engineer dealing with salespeople, selling different technologies, and then later in the software, is that I was exposed to a lot of what are people would jokingly call dog and pony shows. And those are the things where you get a unscrupulous salesman, or even worse, a snake oil salesman, that they promote something that they know isn't going to produce what their customer wants or needs, but as long as they get their money and they can move on to the next town or the next project, they're happy. Well, I don't like that, and I'm sure you don't either. And so one of the key selling points for my company, and the reason why I've won in so many contracts over even some big firms, is that the proof is in the pudding. So what I've always been able to do is I can go in and prove that to them and show them that not only do I have the skill set, but I can actually show them product that proves that I can do what I say I can do. And I think those are very important. So please take a look. I've got many different customers that I've worked with over the years, many of them multiple projects. I can thank all of them. I enjoyed working with each company, and this last year, because of the marketplace and I get hired as an architect, this last year has been slow compared to most years. But there's a major silver lining in that I was given the opportunity to develop this new social collaboration portal. And please take a look at the other videos that I have available to you. There's several patents pending on this, and the reason is that I've done some things, I've written some algorithms, and I've got some rich user interface controls that I've never seen done before. And it doesn't mean that they haven't been, but I have not seen them. And you may feel the same after viewing these videos. I hope you enjoy them. Thank you for your time.